Police were called because of leaves. That's going to cost you. My neighbor Jake has been making my life miserable for 3 straight years. He's the type of guy who buys a BMW and immediately thinks he owns the block. Biggest house on the street. Biggest ego to match. And he complains about everything. My lawn an inch too long? He calls the HOA. Trash cans out 5 minutes early? HOA again. My dog barks when a squirrel runs by? Unacceptable disturbance. Last month, he even reported me because my mailbox was slightly crooked after some kid on a bike clipped it. Dude acts like he's running for neighborhood dictator, but the leaves. Oh man, the leaves. That's when it hit peak insanity. I've got a big oak tree. Every fall, I rake my yard, bag everything up like a normal human. Sure, a handful of leaves blow onto Jake's pristine lawn, maybe 20 total. Any normal person would either rake them up with their own or just ignore it. Not Jake. He comes storming over every single day in October, veins popping, yelling about how my tree is destroying his property value. I tried explaining like, bro, wind exists. He didn't care. He actually started timing me. If I didn't clear the leaves off his grass within 2 hours of them falling, he'd be pounding on my door demanding I handle my mess. It got so bad I was out there every hour like some kind of leaf butler. My wife joked about installing a leaf cam to live stream the situation, except Jake wasn't joking at all. Then 3 weeks ago, a windstorm hit while I was at work. By the time I got home, maybe 50 leaves had blown into his yard. Not piles, just scattered around like, leaves do. I figured I'd rake after dinner since it was already getting dark. Nope. Jake's standing in my driveway, face red, clutching his phone like it's a grenade. He screams this is the last straw, and I'm going to pay for damaging his lawn. I tell him I'll clean it up in the morning. He dials 911. Yes, this grown man called the cops over leaves. 2 officers show up about 20 minutes later. You could tell they thought it was a prank. The younger one kept glancing at Jake like, is this dude serious? Jake, of course, launches into a Shakespeare-level monologue about harassment, sabotage, and how my tree is basically a WMD aimed at his lawn. He's waving his arms, pointing at tiny leaves like they're radioactive. Finally, the older officer, Martinez, asks, Sir, what exactly do you expect us to do about leaves that blew off a tree? Jake, dead serious, says he wants me arrested for property damage and forced to pay for professional lawn restoration. I swear I almost passed out trying not to laugh. That's when Martinez flips it. He calmly explains, very slowly, like he's teaching kindergarten, that calling 911 for non-emergencies is actually illegal. Then he pulls out his citation book and asks Jake for ID. Jake's face goes from beet red to ghost white in 2 seconds flat. He starts backpedaling. Big misunderstanding. I didn't realize, but too late. Martinez is already writing. Misuse of emergency services, $500 fine, plus court fees. And here's the cherry on top. While Jake's standing there getting ticketed, another gust of wind blows a fresh shower of leaves off my tree right onto his lawn. Officer Martinez glances at the leaves, then at Jake, and deadpans. Sir, I'd recommend investing in a rake. Beautiful. Pure poetry. Since then, Jake hasn't said a word to me. He still glares like he's trying to laser beam me to death, but now he just quietly rakes up any stray leaves without a peep. The HOA hasn't called me once. I guess that $500 leaf lesson finally taught him wind is not a crime.